Hello and welcome to the East Lyme Municipal Election 2023 question and answer sessions. My name is Alex Salerno and I'm a senior here at East Lyme High School. Before we get started, I want to thank Mrs. Izzo for being here on the weekend and allowing us to have this event. I would also like to thank both Pat Hughes and Jason Diebel for working with me to make this event possible. Now let's introduce the students that set up this event.
Hi, I'm Dakota Fox. I'm 12th grade and I'm taking AP Government with Alex. Hi, I'm David Scott. I'm a senior here.
Hi, I'm Cecile. I'm a senior this year and I'm also an AP Govs with Alex.
Hi, I'm Quinn Dwyer, senior at East Lyme High School. Happy to report I'm also an AP Gov with Alex.
Now, just as a reminder, each candidate will have 1 minute to answer every question. Please stick to the 1 minute due to time restraints. This is not a debate, just a question and answer session. Attacks and responding to candidates or their responses will not be tolerated. If a candidate attacks another candidate, that part of the video will be deleted and that candidate will lose their closing statement. Let's begin with the opening statements, starting with Don McKenzie.
Can I ask a question first? So, you said the opening statement was 1 minute, but I had that the questions were each 2 minutes.
It's 1 minute opening statement and closing statement and questions.
Okay, thank you.
What's the question?
Opening statement.
I think the opening statement was basically what do politics mean to me? Sorry.
It provides you real input, the ability to know everybody quickly in town, how they feel about a certain topic. This is where it starts. I have learned by being on the Harbor Management Commission for the past 5 years how much of a difference one can make if they want to make it their own town. I've also been the legislative leader for the Connecticut Ring Trades up in Hartford and worked very closely with Paul and Holly. And it's an amazing process, and one person can make a difference that will benefit both parties, the residents and all the businesses in the state. This excites me. If you know, this job doesn't pay anything. It's all volunteer. I'm not running a business anymore, so I have no hidden agenda. I'm here to help and volunteer my time. This is a special place. I do love living here, and many people in the state are leaving. I moved here, and most of the people still are moving in here.
Good morning. I would like to thank the Viking Saga and Jeff Field for hosting this event. My name is Ann Chicello, and I'm running for re-election to the Board of Selectmen. A little bit about me. My family and I moved to East Lyme 20 years ago because of its reputation as a close-knit community. I know the schools are top-notch because my daughter is currently attending a top law school, and thanks to Mr. Peel and the Viking Saga, my son majored in journalism and is working at NBC in Washington, D.C. For the past 30 years, I've been a practicing attorney, graduated from BC and UConn Law School. I have the experience needed for the future of East Lyme. In addition to being on the Board of Selectmen, I've also been on the Board of Finance in the Inland Wetlands Agency. In these roles, I advocated for projects to improve our quality of life, to encourage responsible spending, to keep East Lyme an affordable place to live, and to preserve our environment. I chose to get involved with town government because of our strong sense of community. I'm committed to building partnerships with the other board members to make decisions which are in the best interest of our town.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Diebel. I'm running for Board of Selectmen, and I want to thank Viking Saga for putting this on. Great event. I've actually never been on the stage, so this is kind of exciting for me. So people tend to not have the highest opinion of politicians, and I just want to put out there that politics is the process by which communities make decisions about themselves. And failure to participate in that process means that somebody else gets to make those decisions for you. And they might not have your best interest at heart, so I'm here to make sure that most people in town can be represented, not just the people who come and speak up at the meetings, not just the people who have the resources and time to devote to the process. I want to make sure that I have everybody's voice heard. Might sound a little corny, but I am here because I love East Lyme, and civic engagement is my love language. And running for this office is the next evolution in a process that, I started a couple years ago. I look forward to continuing in the years ahead.
Hi, my name is Tony Anazio. I've been up on the stage before. I ran for Board of Selectmen 16 years ago. So I think it was time to run again. In the meantime, I've lived here 25 years. I've served this town in any capacity that I can. I've been on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I've served as a trustee of the East Lyme Public Library. I also like to serve in any way I can. My highlight was in 2020, I served as one of Connecticut's 7 presidential electors to elect Biden and Harris. And I'm going to ask Roseanne Hardy, in fact, who might be one of our town history experts, when was the last time that happened? So I'm always showing the flag for East Lyme on stage as well. It's a privilege to be here, and like I said, 16 years it was time to run again. Thank you.
Good morning, Roseanne Hardy. To me, local politics provides a great opportunity to be actively involved in many aspects of the town's growth, preserving the best of our past while working to move the town forward. Local officials should encourage and provide opportunities for residents to offer opinions, to assist in problem solving. The Board of Selectmen should bring boards and commissions to work together with residents to accomplish our mission to keep East Lyme a great place to live. I hope to continue, to work towards that goal. It's an opportunity and privilege to be able to participate in democracy. It's Saturday, folks. Let's have a great weekend.
Thank you, and now the next question will be asked by Dakota.
So, could you please share your key priorities and initiatives you intend to pursue during your 2-year term?
And we're going to start with Ms. Hardy on this side and go the other.
The first selectman and members of the Board of Selectmen also have ex officio assignments to all of the other boards and commissions in town to keep better informed about specific issues and provide resources as appropriate in keeping with the charter. This is a very effective system which I would not want to see changed. If the charter revisions are approved, that will require some adjustments to work on and implement. I would also hope that the town would continue to search out additional grants to enable us to undertake more programs while helping to keep taxes in line. Naturally, I share the expressed concerns about development, open space, and protection of natural resources. And I promise to work towards achieving a balance that best suits all residents of the town, protecting it for the future. Thank you.
My main goal over the next 2 years, if I'm elected, would be to try to help people live on things. And by that I mean, I think everybody knows that development might be getting a little out of hand in this town. I mentioned that I sat up here 16 years ago running for Board of Selectmen. And a lot of the things I thought that I was concerned about then, I'm even more concerned about today. There's, like I said, a lot of development takes place and then people complain that they've got coyotes in the street. Well, one comes from the other, so we've got to, I would like to work closely with the land use commissions and try to get a handle on all that. In the meantime, we have to be careful about, we've gone through COVID, we've gone through a period of inflation, we've got to keep taxes under control, lower than the rate of inflation. Other than that, like I said, I've been following things around here for a long time, and I'm looking forward to digging in.
All right, so what I would like to do is to help make our government more representative of the folks who live here in East Lyme. as I was saying before, sometimes people are boxed out of the political process or boxed out of the civic engagement because they have young families or they have jobs that they have to devote time and resources to. I have those things, but I also have a lot of energy and a lot of determination to make sure that everyone has a voice in the process. So I believe as a young professional with a young family, I have a perspective that you don't always hear when it comes to boards and commissions. And I would like to make sure that those folks are represented, and I'm hoping that when I'm in office I can do that. I yield my time.
My overriding goal in my second term is to continue to make decisions which improve the quality of life in town. First, we need to preserve open space. Our mental and physical health is dramatically improved when we can drive down the road to spend time on our beautiful beaches, when we can hike, bike, picnic in peaceful nature preserves in our town. That's why I voted for buying more land to conserve open space and will continue to do so. My second way to improve quality of life is to make sure East Lyme remains an affordable place to live. We cannot drive residents out of town with high taxes. People who have lived here raising a family should not have to sell their house because of out-of-control taxes. There needs to be a fine balance between taxes and spending. I will continue to fight to maintain an affordable balance. My third goal to improve quality of life is to make our local government more transparent. To accomplish this, our town government needs to communicate with our residents more effectively and earlier than a few weeks before a vote. These are my goals for improving the quality of life in East Lyme.
What are my goals? Other than the day-to-day crises and meetings, I think the hot items today on my radar are maintaining controlled growth. I can get into that later, but if you aren't growing, you are dying. You have to have some growth. Cost of living is always creeping in a northerly direction. You have to generate cost of living increases for services, equipment, and people, or you stop growth and then raise taxes. Who will remain? That's not a good long-term plan. I want our police department to be allowed to serve and protect. I think it's a shame how much their hands are tied today. I coach basketball, and if you step out of bounds 1/16 of an inch, a whistle blows. You turn the ball over. If you argue with the official, you're thrown out of the game. We can't have the police simply not serving or protecting us. By all means, hold them accountable, but let those breaking the laws be held accountable as well. Lastly, big topic, how do we handle short-term rentals? Living in a beach community is a concern of mine. The answer is obviously to figure out a way to regulate it.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to the next question. This question will start with Don McKenzie on the left. Aiden's going to ask the question.
It's funny that you would mention short-term rentals because this question is about how exactly you would approach the problems coming from short-term rentals, like increased trash, traffic headaches, and noise complaints.
My opinion, living in one of those beach communities, I do not see it enhancing the neighborhoods, but I'm pretty sure I can't stop it from happening either. We simply have to regulate it. People come to enjoy vacation in this area. Who would not? But treat it as if it was yours. The experiment of golf carts are a perfect example in Black Point. Many are not registered. People are driving on the streets that are not legal. Kids are driving the carts. They're driving at night. They're driving on roads that aren't supposed to be driven on. And you see kids in the back seat jumping up and down. Very unsafe. And until somebody gets hurt, nothing's going to happen. People are buying homes here because it truly is an amazing place to live. I think we need to just keep it that way. So thank you.
In the past 10 years, short-term rentals such as Airbnb are transforming communities all around the world, including East Lyme. Like anything else, there are pros and cons to short-term rentals. On the positive side, they allow homeowners to defray the cost of home ownership by renting rooms or entire homes to visitors. On the negative side, Short-term rentals can disrupt communities, increase housing costs, remove housing availability. As a member of the Board of Selectmen, I voted to appoint a commission to study this issue. The commission is still in the fact-gathering phase. There is also a Connecticut Supreme Court currently dealing with the case involving the validity of short-term rentals. East Lyme has a long history of beach house rentals. Our shoreline is a tourist destination. As a board member, I will take necessary steps to balance the rights of homeowners to rent their properties with the rights of homeowners who do not want to be disturbed by short-term renters. This has proven to be a difficult issue around the world, and it is not going to be solved overnight in East Lyme. However, this is another quality of life issue which will require a creative solution.
Yeah, like Ann said, this is kind of a brave new world. The internet and Airbnb and other players getting involved, and things change so quickly that anything I say here could easily be outdated in a few months, a few years. What I would have to say is, to get our arms around the issue, we do need to study the issue and look at other towns. There are places that are getting this right. It is an economic driver, it's an economic boom for communities, so we have to find a way to go forward. I believe that we can work together with towns that are being successful and find out what would be the proper mix or the proper level of regulation for East Lyme. I mean, it's a wonderful community and people want to come here, and I think there's a way to do it right where it'll be a win-win. Our economy will grow strong and vital, and people can enjoy our natural beauty and our great town. And I hope to be a part of that decision-making process.
Okay, as part of my homework assignment on this issue, I was out canvassing door to door. One of the things I like about running for office, I wish I had more time to do it, it's meeting people. But I went down to the shore, beach communities and talked to people about this. And actually talked to some of the people who are on the committee that are working on solutions to this. And they've got some good ideas. When you walk around down there, one thing you notice is that the streets are narrow and there are issues like that. So you really gotta control this thing. You're not gonna stop short-term rentals. They're here to stay. It's part of the world. But I like the idea that the committee's come up with about having permits possibly for short-term rentals and have regulations on this. Because I'd like to hear, before I make any final decision, to hear from things like the first responders and if they've had any problem getting to emergencies because of parking situations in the beach communities. There's not many places to park down that area. So this is, we've got some work to do.
The Board of Selectmen has taken the initiative to establish a subcommittee to examine the issue of short-term rental, to study the issues and hear community input and then make recommendations. As residents, you also have a responsibility to attend these hearings and offer input and your perspective. There have been several public hearings scheduled to date to get input from the public. And these have been well attended with various opinions, pro and con, expressed. I've attended their hearings. Many of the problems associated with short-term rentals are not just limited to short-term rentals. I've listened to public comments and await the committee's report and recommendations. In the meantime, people need to be aware that this is not just beach communities. Whatever is passed will apply to the entire town.
Thank you. We're moving on to the last question. Quinn will ask this question.
Thank you, Alex. Niantic has become very walkable in the last few years. However, the rest of the town seems to have fallen behind in that sense. How do you plan to make the rest of East Lyme accessible to pedestrians just like downtown Niantic?
Ms. Hardy, you will start on this one.
Sidewalks have plans have previously been drawn up by planning and zoning officials. Factors to be considered are cost, the issues of eminent domain. You just can't take private property and have a sidewalk run into it. That would be a cost that would have to be, and the property owner would have to agree. maintenance costs. Many of our roads in town are state roads that would require state approval. But we are fortunate to have parks and a boardwalk that allow for safe walking. And we also, I think, should do more to try to establish bike paths as opposed to trying to, at this point, add additional sidewalks. As new developments come in, this can also be made a requirement for new developers or new developments to make certain there are sidewalks adjacent to their properties.
I think the key to getting anything like this done outside of Niantic is going to require action by the state. For example, there was a study I know that was done on Route 161 for future, for bike paths, sidewalks, whatever. There was planning for a roundabout down by East Patagonia. In any event, I don't think the town's going to be able to do a whole lot without some action by the state. Working on state roads first, and then perhaps providing some funds to the town if we're going to do this. But yeah, it has to be comprehensive. It has to include bike paths, and I don't see any easy way to do it. It's going to require some help. So that's really all I can say about that. I yield the rest of my time.
Yes, so as Roseanne pointed out, we do have some lovely assets here in town for walking, and as Tony pointed out, it is going to take an awful lot of effort from people who have more authority than we would ever have in the town, since these are state roads. But I think the question is not just about walkability. I think the question is really about access. Like, why do we want to walk around town? Is it because it's nice and we like to go walk and see nice houses? Or is it because we want people to connect with economic centers? We want people to be able to live here and get to their job. So I think, as Tony pointed out, there's a more comprehensive, holistic way to do this involving regional bus services and bike lanes. As Roseanne said before me, you can't just cut up someone's yard and drop a slab of concrete there and think the problem's going to be fixed. The problem is bigger than just slabs of concrete. The problem is, how do we get people to jobs? How do we get people to schools? How do we get people to shopping? And that's a really big question that we can't just solve with sidewalks.
Sidewalks are not only a quality of life issue, it's also a safety issue. Downtown Niantic is thriving because it is walkable. However, even Niantic can use more sidewalks. For example, sidewalks can be extended past the original Book Barn to include the adjacent plaza where East Coast Taco is. This will make downtown Niantic even more walkable. As for the rest of East Lyme, actions are being taken to ensure that there are continuous sidewalks from the high school all the way down to Route 156. The state has completed a study on this project, and I support this project 100%. The project does need to be approved by the State Department of Transportation, and I will do everything I can as a board member to make sure these sidewalks get built. These sidewalks will transform East Lyme by finally making it safe to walk from Flanders all the way down to Niantic.
Great question, by the way. I don't have the answer, but I've got some ideas. It's needed to get back and forth from Niantic to East Lyme, but it's going to be a job of the state. I doubt you're going to take any of Gordon Pond or take people's property, as earlier mentioned, for eminent domain when you don't know if it's really needed or not. What's the draw? So years ago, I was on a study for Shoreline East. Do we need the ridership the same in New Haven to New York as up here in London? The answer was no. There was not 1/10 the ridership. So if you were to implement a bus or some sort of transportation and take a sampling of how many people will go up and down 161 before you spend any tax dollars or money, that might be good to do a quick study on that. If it could be done, I would recommend getting the same companies doing the construction now. No, I'm not affiliated. These guys have moved left and right. They're doing a good job down to the interchange. I know it's crazy, it's hectic. We knew it was coming, but they're doing a heck of a job. In the end, it's going to be a safer highway for all of us down there. Thank you very much for your time today.
We're going to wrap up with our closing statements, starting with Don, as soon as the timer starts.
I'd like to thank you all, Alex and staff, for today. I think this was fun. I'm glad it wasn't contentious. This is my first real shot at this. Not the first time running for an election, but this is the first time that I've taken a real serious take a look at this, and I think I can make a difference. I look forward to the challenge. And as my ex officio for Harbor Management Commission, who's done a great job of coaching me in what I can say and what I can't say. But however, we've made a difference. We've made a difference as far as we've implemented a new mooring system, computerized it. We're changing police boats to have the right boat to the right people rather than the one that's appropriated to us. We're getting the fast boat for the police and the slower boat for the harbor master. Little things, but we're making some headway, and I really appreciate it. I see great direction. I have time now. I'm not coaching basketball. I'm not working at my business. I look forward to helping this place because I love this place. Thank you.
This debate is for the students of Eastline High School. Most of you will be voting for the first time, so I want to address my closing remarks specifically to all of you first-time voters. First, I encourage you to register to vote, and if possible, to vote in the referendum this Tuesday, October 17th, and the municipal elections on Tuesday, November 7th. Get involved, make a difference by becoming aware of the issues, joining a campaign, working at the polls, becoming involved in your community. Get involved and make a difference by attending a town meeting or commission meeting and voicing your concerns. I will listen to you, take what you say seriously, and it will definitely impact my decision. If you can't attend a meeting, reach out to me individually. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to all of you today. And please re-elect me, Ann Chiquello, to the Board of Selectmen. Thank you.
Thanks, Ann. It was great. I would like to start by thanking the Viking Saga and the student advisor for pulling this together. And I would like to also thank all the candidates up here for running. This is really a labor of love. And I know what brings you here today is the same that brings me here today. And I was really pleased at just how much agreement there is up here. You know, how much we're all kind of saying the same thing. So our priorities, I think, are set. I think this election is in good hands. And I hope that you will choose me to bring my fresh perspective to the board. And even if you don't, I mean, this has been great. It's a pleasure to be up on this stage. It's a pleasure to have you guys organize this whole thing. As a teacher, I'm really proud of the students at Eastline High School for pulling this together. An important event, and I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I hope to do it again sometime soon.
Like I said before, I've been involved in community affairs and politics for a long time, and I really thought I was done. In fact, I was really hoping I was done. But I was capping everything off, like I said, in 2020, when I was serving as one of the state's presidential electors. I went up to the state capitol that day, December 14th, and cast one of Connecticut's 7 votes. And I really felt good about the whole thing, and then, well, you all know what happened afterwards. So I just want to say that I started to realize that you can't. My whole life I've taken democracy for granted, and I'm not going to do that again. And I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll probably do it till the day I die. I never thought I'd say that, but that's why I'm up here at the age of 64. Anyway, it's been a great pleasure. My son went to high school here, and now he's a selectman in Waterford. So you guys are doing something right. Thank you.
After graduating college in Maine, I was hired to teach in East Lyme in 1966. We lived in a winter rental at Crescent Beach, which allowed us to visit neighboring towns before deciding East Lyme was our favorite and we would raise our family here. I was fortunate to teach at both East Lyme Junior and Senior High for 54 years, getting to know many families and neighborhoods. You folks escaped. You were lucky, but I'm sure Miss Izzo's keeping you in line. I was elected to the Board of Selectmen in 1985. I've served as ex officio to every board and commission in town. I was the first selectman for 6 months. I could have run for that position in the next election, but decided that my calling was teaching. I served 4 terms as deputy first selectman with both Republican and Democratic first selectmen. And as voters, I thank you for your past support and hope to have it for this election.
Thank you, candidates. Can we get a round of applause, please, for the candidates? We would like to thank the Board of Selectmen candidates for making time this morning to come to our question and answer session. Thank you.